What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Nautical Narratives. I am your narrator, the one, the only, Mr. First Class. So, I pray that everybody is having a great one. Listen, I pray y'all are enjoying this content. I'm enjoying sharing these stories again and just putting this stuff out there, giving, like I said, people an opportunity to hear some of the things that go on the day-to-day of being in the military, not all of the, like I said, the run and gun, because it's not all that. You know what I'm saying? It's not all that. Like, there has been some shooting and all that. Like, again, as I said before, I'm well-trained, but at the same time, I ain't never shot nobody. And I'm okay with that. I am over the moon about that, to be honest with you, because I just don't really want that weight on my soul. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna tell y'all about the time. I'm gonna tell y'all about the time my coworker got kicked out for cocaine. So this is, like I said, 2003, 2004, maybe. There has already been somebody that I knew, one of the ancillary characters in my plot. He got popped for coke, but he wasn't a coworker. I didn't actually work with him. I guess you could say we're all coworkers in the Navy, but I mean somebody that I actually go to the same building and work with on a day-to-day. So this is how it happened and how I found out about how it happened. So, like most jobs, we do a lot of urinalysis, right? And us being military police or master arms does not change the fact that we still have to do urinalysis, right? We still have to test for drugs. Everybody in the military does. And a lot of people pop. A lot of people end up getting kicked out because of drugs. Well, this particular situation was one of those times where, so there are two types of urinalysis. There is a command sweep. That means everybody. And then you have, I think they're called periodical or periodic or randoms, whatever it is. There's the random ones where they just pick people out of the group at random. And like I said, you got a command sweep. So this particular instance, it is, let's say, I'm pretty sure it was a Thursday, right? So a Thursday morning, they call everybody. If you're not on leave, you need to get to this building and you gotta pee. And so, cool. You know, obviously I'm good. I don't stress over them because for me, it's like, I ain't doing nothing. So I ain't worried about giving y'all pee. And at this point in my life, listen, I could give you pee at the drop of a dime. Like I could have just peed and I could probably give you some more pee to fill up the cup. Like within 20, 30 minutes. It just conditioned that way at this point. But like I said, it is a Thursday. We get a urinalysis on Thursday. It is a command sweep. So everybody that is not on leave got to come in here, right? And so we do the urinalysis, command sweep, all's well, no big deal. I move on with my life. I don't think anything else of it. Then maybe a week or so later, there started being some rumblings. Because y'all know, any workplace where something goes down, there tend to be a whole lot of chatty Cathys or chatty Patties in there that are, you know, oh man, guess what? Guess who got kicked out? So you like, oh, okay. So, I'm hearing through the grapevine that not only is my coworker, did he pop, but that he's actually my neighbor too. Like, we lived in bachelor's quarters, but essentially they're like apartments. They look like apartments, and he lived below me. So I lived upstairs. He lived in the apartment below me. And essentially it's like two people, you have a card. It's like a hotel card, and both of y'all cards get you in the room, into the apartment. So obviously to get to the kitchen, the living room, all that stuff, like the common areas and the bathroom. But you have, the card is coded for your room only, and his card is, so it's like that. Just to give y'all, some kind of like a backstory or whatever. And so he's downstairs. So I'm like, man, wow, that's crazy. Like, how does that even happen? Like, what are we doing? So it just happened to be one day that I'm off and he's waiting to be out processed. So he's not going back to work at this point. He's already gone to Captain's Mast. I'm trying to help the civilians, people that don't know what Captain's Mast is. Long story short, Captain's Mast is a judiciary punishment. So not a court martial. You go to Captain's Mast. So you basically go in front of the big man of the base, and he basically handing out punishments based on the evidence. Many times they don't necessarily even care if you did it or didn't do it. The fact that you even are suspected of doing something, they about to bust you upside your head with a little bit of something. Trust and believe. I've never been to Captain's Mast, but I have officiated over Captain's Mast as I was like security for the Captain's Mast. And yeah, it may be some shakiness to it, but at some point they just don't even care. They like, hey, you causing problems. Here, take this little punishment, take this little kick in the behind and go on about your business. And potentially, hey, you might go home. Now, anybody that knows anything about the military, drugs is a no drugs policy. So you cannot pop. If you pop, you go into the house. Now, again, listen, I ain't one for, oh man, because I know it's going to probably be somebody prior military or somebody pretending to be prior military. There's going to be like, oh no, I remember this one cat that didn't get kicked out. Listen, I'm just telling you what I know and what I've seen. I've seen even SEALs get kicked out because they pop positive. So if SEALs will get kicked out, and they basically like the varsity, they like the A team, and we like the B or C team. If they getting kicked out, I'm sure most everybody else get kicked out. I'm sure there's some exceptions, and then, the buddy and people looking out for each other. But anyway, I digress. So it just happened to be one day where I am walking and I see the cat on my way back from the office. So we had the bachelor's quarters. We had an office. It was essentially like I said, like a hotel, like a front desk area to be like, hey, something going on in the apartment, something broken or whatever. Well, I come back, I see him, and I'm just one of those people that, man, I'll be honest with you, I go straight to the horse's mouth. I don't like all the innuendos or the talking behind people's back. If I know something about you, I'm gonna ask you directly to your face. What happened? What's going on? Did you say this? Did you do this? Da 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 da. Right. So I proceed to just ask the cat flat out, like, "Yo, what happened, my man? What's going on?" So my man proceeds to tell me that he felt once we had that command sweep on that Thursday, right? On that Thursday, he was like, oh, I'm good. He said he went and got him an 8-ball, of that stuff. And so it was like, okay. He was like, well, that Saturday, he said he got lines on the table. So you in the barracks with this. He got lines on the table. And he said he was down to his last line. The phone rang. He picked the phone up. He's like, yo, what's going on? Hey, we got a random, and you just happen to be one of the people on the list. He said, at this point, I done did a whole 8-ball. And he's like, I see that last line. He's like, well, I'm going to pop anyway. So he said, all right, cool. I'll be there in a minute. Say he hung up, did the last line, and went on and took the test. And I was like, yeah. I was so blowed. I was like, wait, what? And he did not seem upset. He didn't seem like he cared. He was just like, oh man, I wanted to get out. And for me, I always thought to myself, obviously I didn't end up getting out because I retired, but I did get out off of active duty. I ultimately went back, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, it was like I could never see getting out in those ways, like, because this is a dishonorable discharge tends to follow you for the rest of your life. You got to put it on any applications that you fill out. You got to put that on there because they can still find it. They can still find that you were released from the military with a dishonorable discharge. Another thing would be, it just doesn't make sense to me to lose all my benefits, because that's the other thing. Any benefit that you might have had, you now forfeited it because of drugs. Now, again, I don't know if that's something he picked up while he was in the Navy or something that he had, a habit that he had prior to, but I just can't understand why if you had that habit prior to, I don't understand why you even got into this and put yourself, in this environment and in this lifestyle, only to then, well, it don't even really matter. Like, it's not a big deal. And again, his life may have turned out great. I don't know that cat. I didn't follow him any further than the door. Once he went out that door, I didn't really, because again, I knew who I was trying to be. I knew what I was trying to be. Like I said, again, I wasn't necessarily trying to be a retiree. I wasn't trying to make it to that point. I was just simply, I knew how I wanted to carry this out. It wasn't necessarily about my family's name. It was more just about my name, me being the man that I am. I want to be able to stand, if my mama see this or if anybody see this, and I don't mean the video, I mean, if anybody sees the actions that I'm taking, it's like, it'd be, especially as far as my career goes, hey, I'm gonna walk this thing out the way I'm supposed to walk it out. I'm not going, now if I want to get out, I'm gonna do the rest of my time and go and get up out of there. But I'm not gonna want to do, drugs to get out and be nonchalant about it. But hey, some people don't feel the same way I feel, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I just ain't one of them. I just ain't one of the ones that wants to go out that way. I would rather go out, walking out as opposed to being booted out or being kicked out, because it just don't look good. And it don't, not necessarily does it just not look good, it does not feel good. Because a lot of times we'll pretend like something, oh man, I don't really care, it ain't that big a deal. And then you get outside and you're like, oh no, what did I do? What was I thinking? You know what I'm saying? But either way, again, I pray y'all enjoyed that. That was kind of a short one, but still one of them wild situations where I'm like, yo, I would love for my kids to be able to see this, love for other people to be able to, like, yo, some things ain't worth it. Like, I see people now losing their jobs over social media. Yo, it's not worth it. That's why, even though I talk about my military career, I keep names out my mouth. I keep units out of my mouth. I keep situations to code names. I don't even call people by their real name. I don't want anything to affect my livelihood or my household or my family, because that's important. And I get a lot of people don't care about working or whatever, but yo, there's certain things that you just shouldn't say or do in front of strangers. You know what I mean? You know? But anyway, with that being said, I pray that y'all have a great one. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can see when I upload another one. With that, I'll see you on the next one. Oh, I'm sorry. I almost forgot. Fair winds, following seas, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.